But my concern has been drawn to the issues about accountability of the Central Bank of Liberia. We all know that many Liberians, sometimes we need to probably give you, we need to go back a little bit about some of the commitments that were made during the electoral process, which led to President Joseph Waka becoming the president of the country. I think it is important we try to, and probably the those in government, probably they may have forgotten about why the Nigerian people provided them the space to steer the affairs of the country for the next 6 years. And we are moving on gradually. We are moving on gradually. So let's go. This story is within the front page African newspaper. Three central bank staff arrested in connection with illegal transfer of over 900,000 to international bank. So that is what this paper is reporting. And Front Page Africa happens to be one of the leading newspaper in the country, one of the leading newspapers in the country. So most of them, their report are actually factual. So this is what, let's give you the content of what they are reporting. Three staff members of the Central Bank of Liberia have been arrested and placed under police investigation for their alleged involvement in illegal transfer of $961,777. Information Minister Joe Limit here disclosed during the Ministry of Information regular press briefing on on August 6th, acting executive governor of the Central Bank of Liberia here in Samoa alerted the Internal Audit Department of the Central Bank of Liberia about a suspicious real-time gross settlement between between the Central Bank of Liberia and the International Bank. On Tuesday, August 6, 2024, acting, normally when the president appoints you as acting, you take, you have a very huge responsibility the next day. Based upon the president's pronouncement, you can definitely, you don't have to go for confirmation and so forth. So Samoa Harris Samoa is the current acting central bank governor. Tuesday, August 6, 2024, acting executive governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Samara F. Samoa. Harris F. Samoa brought to the attention of the Internal Audit Department a real-time gross violation settlement transaction from the CBL to the International Bank of Liberia. The amount involved in the transactions in 961,777 intended for onward transfer to a beneficiary account at SIB. The real-time gross resettlement is a type of payment where the transfer of money occurs between banks without delay. It's a PSA that the acting governor Samoa initiated an investigation led by the Internal Audit Department, which revealed that the manner in which the transaction was initiated, authorized, and subsequently transferred would have defrauded the government of Liberia and placed the central bank at risk for a potential repayment of $961,777. The internal audit examined the procedures and controls surrounding the reversal of transactions related to the government of Liberia revenue account and the associated rates Pia noted. He added that there are $961,777 was processed without necessary approval, without necessary approval from senior management of the banking department as required by the department's manual. Multiple scandals. This incident is the latest scandal to engulf the central bank under the leadership of acting governor Samoa following a series of controversies prior to his appointment. A damning audit, a damning General Auditing Commission's report previously led to the suspension of the bank governors Aloysius Talu, Deputy Governors Imani Pearson later resigned following a negotiation with the executive. Minister Sophia further revealed that the intended beneficiary accounts are the international bank established in 2018 have previously been credited with relatively small amounts. The recent GSD audit identified that the companies owning the account have received 55,000 without any evidence of what performed. The three CBL member staff involved are currently in police custody on ongoing investigation. Acting acting governors, acting executive governor Samoa has commissioned a full audit of the central bank real-time gross settlement transaction to ensure compliance with policy. Acting Governor Samoa has outlined his vision to transform the central bank, developing talent, fostering a culture of teamwork, creating a strategic plan, and promoting transparency and accountability. Released on the central bank website, Samar detailed his vision during his first meeting with the bank general staff on Friday. The former general manager of the International Bank, Samar, emphasized the importance of capacity building and working together to achieve the CBL core objectives of price stability, financial sector stability, financial inclusion, operational efficiency, and support for economic growth. It announced plans to immediately establish a committee to develop a comprehensive 5-year strategic plan for the bank. In the new strategic plan, we intend to develop we shall embrace innovative leverage and technology to enhance our mental capacity, centralization of the bank, and ensure operational efficiency to promote value for non-instituted executive governor of the central bank. Um the acting executive governor of the central bank, review all the GST audit reports. We also pledged to invest in advanced digital platforms to explore new financial technologies to revolutionize the bank administrations and operations, strengthen risk management, and promote effective monetary policy action. Additionally, Samoa committed to further reviewing the GST audit report and other assessment to address the concern raised and accelerate the CBL transformation. So that is it. That is what the front page Africa newspaper is reporting. But what is my take on this particular issue? We acknowledge the fight against corruption that has been initiated by current president Joseph Human Waka and all of those people who he appointed to spear the particular ministry and agency. But here is what most Liberians are mostly concerned about. You know, you know, the Central Bank of Liberia is one of the most important institutions in our country. It's one of the most important institutions in our country. Few days ago, there was a damning audit report which led to the suspension, the indefinite suspension of the Governor Aloysius Talu, who currently served in the same position. He was appointed by former President George Weah. And the position of the central bank The positions Aloysius Stalin held at the central bank, is one of the most profitable positions in our country. This is one of the most protected positions in Liberia. He currently serves in a training position. So now we have we have Henry Samoa who is acting, who is currently acting, and it has not even taken a month, and we are hearing this kind of report. It is important that the police was able to have those arrested, but however, those who are allegedly involved into this kind of scandal, their name remain unknown. So why is it that the information minister, Louis Matthew Pierre, was able to speak about that, but he wasn't able to disclose the identities of those who are ongoing investigation? Those are key issues we will be more interested in. In previous investigation, whenever the Minister of Information Cultural Affairs is speaking to that particular situation, you will oftentimes disclose the identities of those who are under investigations. Why? So it is actually a good thing whenever there is an allegation regarding corruptions and so forth. An investigation must be ordered, and those people must be subjected to an investigation. It is always a very good thing, because what it does is that it tells our international partners that we are indeed serious. We are making strides. You understand? It tells our international partner that we are indeed serious. But again, when we have to conduct an investigation regarding a financial institution, especially an integrity institution like the Central Bank of Nigeria, I think we need to be very serious. We need to be a bit more open up to the public in terms of disclosing the identities of all of those people who have been subjected to the investigation, rather than just saying, yeah, three persons have been arrested and they are currently undergoing investigation at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. Few days ago, we heard about an audit report, a very damaging audit report that was conducted by the General Auditing Commission. For each time we are having these kind of situations in our country, our international partners are very much concerned. You know that the international partners are concerned. They are not just concerned, but they want to know the outcome of those investigations. Because by the time you just have people arrested, and after 1 or 2 days, the same people you have arrested again, then they are passing, and absolutely nothing, no logical conclusion is being brought to that particular matter. Then it's not a bad picture. It sets a bad precedence for our country. It sets a bad precedence for our country. So we need to be very serious, especially when we talk about the issues about corruptions and so forth. We need to be very serious. This Henry Samoa guy, who is currently the acting governor of the central bank, he was just appointed. So, acting, Mr. Acting Governor, there is a need that to prioritize this particular investigation. Let the Liberian people see the impact of justice in this one. as integrity as the central bank is, because every financial institution is about integrity. They want people, almost all of those people who work in those particular positions, we expect them to be financial discipline. And if there is no documentations as in accordance to what this article is saying, that like brings people feel your impact. Although the case is still being debated at the, although the situation is still being debated at the court regarding the the guy who is serving in any position of the then governor Aloysius Stalin. Let the Liberian people begin to feel your impact of whatever you do. As part of the many reasons why former President George Weah was voted out, because many of the people felt that he was taking the issues about corruptions, and he wasn't very serious. Probably it would be saying, if he wasn't pursuing the fight against corruptions. So during the electoral process, during the electoral process, one of the fundamental reasons why, if not, if not the single reasons why Nigerians voted for President Joseph Waka, was his stand, was his commitment to fight the issues of corruptions. So when people are being involved into these kind of situations, Nigerian people expect an impartial, they always want justice to be served in these particular situations. They always want justice to be served in these particular situations. Because you have a list of other cases to pursue. And when there is no law, this case cannot be brought to a logical conclusion where those who are culpable, those who are involved, when precedents cannot be set on them, then many Liberians will soon get disappointed against about the fight of corruptions that this government has initiated so far. The government is actually making a good strive, in terms of making efforts to have, making efforts to have all of those corruption allegations being investigated. Those are good steps from the angle of the government, but there are more need to be done. So so we have, let's begin to acknowledge some of our followers. We have good Power Lorenzo Nyenkwa. Yeah, I say, good evening, folks. I'm Paul Lorenzo Nyenkwa. I'm joining the conversation from District 18 Battery Factory Community this evening. So we have a long list of people who have been following this discussion. Here we have Olivia, First Lady Dan, and Masale Musai also following the conversation. We have S. Fire, say I'm watching. We have Kezia, Balance S. Balance is watching also. We have Edwin S. Fire watching the conversation. We have Emmanuel Bowie also following. We have Paolo Lorenzo. We have Vera M. Drew watching. We have Romel Blamoson watching. We have Jula Bay also watching. We have Musa Kamara watching. We have Janet Doris Kovad watching. I hope I pronounced that well. We have Georgina Carr also watching. So a long list of other people who are watching, and thousands of other people who are listening by the medium of the radio. So that's it. That's it. So, like I was saying, uh, many a times when we were following the process of the 2023 elections, uh, both of the United Party folks at the time, they were in opposition. They Bulk of their debate was about promoting the issues about peace, unity, the fight against corruption, and so forth. So, but then one, I think many of the people in the opposition now, the former ruling party, you know, regarding the issues about corruption at the time, former President Weah, when he was president of the country, his defense, his statements to the Liberian people against why he is not pursuing those who were alleged of being corrupt on the 12 years of Ellen rule. He said uh, we cannot pursue corruption because Liberians are interrelated. And by the time you try to arrest somebody, you know, you will notice that this person is also related to another person, and so forth. For me, here's what I make about it. For me, it was actually the very poor, poor one. You understand? It was a very poor defense about the issues of corruption. How will you say we can't fight corruption because we can't go after these people because everybody in this country they are related and so forth. So the fact that you never fought corruption, the fact that you were very lackadaisical against the fight against corruption doesn't mean or doesn't necessarily mean that those people who are coming now or who took over from you cannot fight against corruption. And I see most often sometimes I try to get the opinions of many people who normally converge at the various Atai centers, and sometimes you listen to what they are saying regarding the fight against corruption. They feel that Joseph Boakai government, the government of President Joseph Boakai, needs to actually start the fight against of corruption from 2006 and start doing the investigation from there. No, that is not how it works. First of all, if at all the government, if you want to back war the fight against corruption, probably by starting from 2006, first of all, they need to audit the stewardship of those of you who've been in power. And this is why it is always important that whenever you take power or whenever you take office, you need to actually make people to come for your stewardship. You need to actually make people to account for stewardship. And this is what the government has embarked on doing. For me, I don't see it as a target, as being a targeted attempt to, to probably go after those who were in power. Many a times people perceive other people to be very corrupt. And at times when the investigations are conducted, the investigation tend to exonerate all of those people who are just perceived to be corrupt. You understand? So your argument cannot be that they need to start from 2006 and because they claim that they want to fight against corruption. No, absolutely no. This is not how people fight against corruption. This is never the case. It can never be the case. So one could say your argument is very poor, and obviously, because you had the ability, you had 6 years, and you were selecting the kind of cases to go after. You were probably selecting the kind of cases to go after. We saw how you went and you conducted you handled the Brandel Sanuka case. Instead of you using a more holistic approach in terms of your fight against corruption, You were selecting which one of the corrupt kings to pursue. We saw how the late, the late, one of the late CBL governors, Charles Salif, was arrested and so forth. There are other principles. Like for me, what I believe is that although the government is making strides, but in order to report from the GHC, an ordered report from the GHC is not a sufficient reliance. In fact, first of all, it must be communicated to the national legislature so that they too can make their stand. They too can make their stand on the issues. We understand that the government wants to probably score some political points. You understand? But the right process or the right processes must be adhered to. The right processes must always be adhered to. That's how we're supposed to be proceeding. That's how it should be done. The last time I listened to several other lawmakers who are supposed to be probably giving their own position relative to the audit report, and they were defaulting with the form and manner in which the government was proceeding. They were disagreeing with the form and manner in which the government was proceeding against the GSC audit report. And for each time the GSC produces a report, it comes out with recommendations. And those recommendations must be adhered to. Those recommendations must always be adhered to. So the right thing should be, the right thing should always be done. The right thing should always be done. So let's take a short break. When we come back, we're supposed to have our guest at this time. I don't know as to whether he is here. Let's take a short break. Let's take a short break.